Hey gang, and welcome back. These videos are brought to you by Card Conduit, the best place to sell your unused collection fast and easily. 401 Games, Canada's top shop for all your hobby and TCG needs. Dragon Shield, the strongest sleeves for your strongest decks. Moxfield, the easiest way to store and share your deck lists. And Foil Armor, flatten your foils fast. Mika wins the die roll and starts us off. He draws, playing a tapped Nomad Outpost, and passes. Colby's just got an island. Ian playing mono red has a mountain and passes. Maximus just plays a tapped Drowned Catacombs. Mika's got a swamp and casts Desmond Miles. Colby's got a mountain and then taps enough for Norman Osborn. Ian draws and plays a mountain, tapping both of his mountains for Key to the City. We've got a Murkwater Pathway for Maximus as his land drop, and he's a 2-drop as well with a Hunted Horror. He gives the Centaur tokens that it makes to Ian. Mika's got a Plains return and then casts his commander. He goes to combat and swings Desmond at Colby. This has Colby taking 2, so Mika gets to surveil 2 and bins Helm of the Host. Colby's got an island and then casts Mind Stone. He swings Norman Osborn at Mika, dealing 1 and then gets to connive on connecting. This has him discarding a Solemn Simulacrum and Norman gets a +1/+1 counter. Ian's got a mountain and activates his key by discarding Myriad Landscape to make one of the centaurs unblockable. He then plays out Gimli's Axe. Moving to combat, he swings a centaur apiece at Max and Mika. Both take the hits. Max draws and plays out an island. He swings the Hunted Horror at Ian, who can't block. Before moving to damage, Maximus ninjutsus in Yuriko herself and deals 1 to Ian. This triggers Yuriko, and Max reveals his top card, Ludwig's Test Subject. This has Yuriko dealing 2 to each of Max's opponents. He passes after that. Mika plays out an Exotic Orchard and casts Buried Alive. He bins Queen Marquesa, Long May She Reign, Olivia Opulent Outlaw, and an Unstoppable Slasher. Going to combat, Altair goes at Colby while Desmond goes at Ian. On attack, Altair exiles Olivia, which has Mika making a token copy of her and has her going at Max. Everyone then takes their hit, which has Mika making 3 treasures from Olivia, and he gets to surveil 3 from Desmond. The Olivia token is then exiled, and Mika moves to his second main phase, casting Seize the Day. He untaps Altair and goes to combat, and this time around swings his commander at Maximus. On attack, Mika exiles the Unstoppable Slasher, and he makes a token copy of it and Olivia, with the Slasher token going at Colby and Olivia at Ian. This has Mika then making 3 more treasures, with Colby losing half of his life to the Slasher trigger after it connects. Mika ships it after that. Colby has a Fabled Passage, cracking it for a swamp which comes in untapped. He then taps the swamp for Dark Ritual, making 3 black mana, and uses it to help transform Norman into the Green Goblin. With his remaining floating mana and the remaining island, Colby then casts Thirst for Knowledge, drawing 3 and discarding 2. He then hits Mika with Green Goblin and passes. Ian untaps and pays the 2 for the Key to the City to draw, and then draws for turn. He plays at a mountain, and then pays 2 mana for Swiftfoot Boots. Maximus draws, plays a swamp, and swings Yuriko at Mika, dealing 1. He reveals Rug of Smothering to the Yuriko trigger, dealing 3 more to each opponent. Max's second main phase then has him casting Wrong Turn, targeting the Altair, and tries to have Colby gain control of it. Responding to this, Mika casts Village Rites and sacrifices his commander, which prevents Colby from gaining control of it. With nothing else, Max passes. Mika's main phase has him casting Relic of Legends, and he taps it to help cast his own Key to the City. He then plays an Evolving Wilds or Terramorphic Expanse, whichever of the 2. He swings Desmond at Maximus, who takes the hit, and Mika surveils 2. Mika then cracks his basic fetch and passes. Colby's got a Sunken Hollow for turn, and then pays 4 mana for Crypt-Caller Chariot. Once more the Green Goblin goes at Mika, who takes the hit, and Colby passes. Ian draws, plays a mountain, and taps enough for Alexios. He passes after his commander resolves. On Maximus' upkeep, he gains control of Alexios and puts a counter on him, and then plays a Sunken Hollow as well in his main phase. Max then casts a Baleful Strix in his main phase, drawing a card, and he moves to combat, swinging Alexios and Yuriko at Mika. With Yuriko connecting, Maximus reveals Demon of Catastrophes, dealing 4 to each of his opponents. His second main phase then has him casting a Hunted Phantasm, and he gives Colby the Goblin tokens, and then passes turn. Mika untaps and gains control of Alexios and adds a counter to him. He then casts Aya of Alexandria and moves to combat. He swings Alexios at Max, who takes the hit, and with a historic creature dealing damage, Mika gets to make an assassin token thanks to Aya. In his second main phase, Mika then casts Necrotal, which enters and destroys Alexios. He passes after that. Colby shocks in a Blood Crypt, losing a quarter of his life total, and then casts Faithless Looting. He discards Burning Vengeance and a Naga Fleshcrafter, making 2 zombie tokens from the Cryptcaller Chariot. Colby then taps 1 red to cast Burning Vengeance from his graveyard thanks to the madness and the reduction cost, and he follows up with a Naga Fleshcrafter, which triggers the Vengeance and deals 2 to Mika's face. Colby has the Fleshcrafter entering as a copy of the Hunted Phantasm, and Colby gives Max the Goblin tokens in return. He then taps 2 Goblin tokens to crew up the Chariot, and Colby swings out at Mika. Mika blocks what he can, but takes the hit from the Green Goblin in the air. Colby then passes turn. Ian's got a mountain, and enchants one of his centaurs with the Bestial Fury. He then gears the other one up with the Gimli's axe, and going to combat, he swings both of them at Mika. Mika blocks with Aya, preventing the largest amount of damage, and actually nets 1 life in the end because of lifelink. Ian then passes turn. Maximus draws and plays a swamp. He goes to cast Sword of Hearth and Home, and once it resolves, gears it up on the Hunted Phantasm. He swings it at Mika, dealing 6 since it's unblockable. With it connecting, Max gets to flicker the Phantasm, giving Colby more Goblin tokens, and goes to find a basic. He then replays the earlier bounced Hunted Horror, giving Ian 2 more Centaur tokens, and Max passes. Mika draws and in his main phase recasts Altair. He then taps his relic and then untaps it to retap it by tapping Desmond, which is a lot of tapping, and he casts Lightning Greaves. He then discards a card to Key to the City to make his commander unblockable, and then equips the Lightning Greaves onto Altair. He swings his commander at Max, and on attack, exiles Aya, and then brings in a copy of Aya, Olivia, and the Slasher. Olivia goes at Colby, Aya goes at Ian, while the Slasher heads at Max. Max blocks the Slasher with a Goblin, Colby takes the hit in the air, and Ian blocks as well. With Altair getting through, Mika gets to make an assassin token from Aya, plus gains some life from lifelink, and treasure tokens thanks to Olivia. Mika ships it after that. Colby's got a swamp, and flashes back Faithless Looting, dealing 2 to Mika with the Vengeance trigger. He discards 2, making 2 zombie tokens, and then pays 1 black for Taval's Judgment. This has him dealing 2 more with the Vengeance trigger to Mika. He then plays 1 blue for Ret Tomb Mystic, dealing another 2 to Mika, and picks the Judgment mode of making a treasure token. Colby then sacrifices his Mind Stone to draw a card, and he swings everything but his zombies at Mika, who blocks what he can, but sadly gets taken out. Ian draws, plays a mountain, and then taps out to bring out Alexios again. Maximus gains control of Alexios on his upkeep, and gains a counter onto him, and he gears up the Haunted Phantasm with the Sword of Hearth and Home. Moving to combat, he swings Alexios and the Hunted Horror at Colby, and the rest go at Ian. Before damage, Colby crews up the Cryptcaller Chariot, and with the ability on the stack, Ian discards a card to the key to make Alexios unblockable. Ian then blocks a Goblin and Yuriko but takes the rest, while Colby gets taken out. Max then gets his sword trigger, going to find a basic and blinking the Baleful Strix to draw a card. Max then casts the earlier revealed Ludwig's test subject and passes. Ian gains back control of Alexios, adds a counter on him, and draws. He plays a mountain for turn, and casts Jessica Thrice Reborn, who enters with 2 counters on her. He then gears up Alexios with Swiftfoot Boots, and activates Jessica's Zero ability to have Alexios deal triple damage to a player until Ian's next turn. He then discards a card to activate the key, making Alexios unblockable. He swings him at Max, but Max is ready with a Reins of Power. He swaps his board with Ian's to avoid lethal damage, and roundaboutly fogs combat. Ian just passes after that, and hopes he has another turn. Max gains control of Alexios on his upkeep, not that he'll do much good, and adds a counter to him. He casts Shifting Grift, and pays the mode to swap 2 creatures. He picks to change a Goblin for the Centaur with Bestial Fury on it. Max then plays out an Archfiend to the Dross, and he goes to combat. He swings everything at Ian. Before moving to blocks, Ian lightning bolts the Baleful Strix. He then moves to blocks, but unfortunately with what he can't stop from unblockable and trample, plus the damage he'll take from his token hitting the graveyard because of the Archfiend trigger, Ian's done for and gets taken out.
Game review time. Altair can get really scary once this token making gets going. Mika getting the unstoppable slasher so early on was also particularly threatening, since he was going to be cutting people's life totals in half every time it connected. I think they were right to take him out first since he was one of the more dangerous players at the table, and I was glad to see so many combat focused decks. Alexios just wants to smash face, as does Yuriko, and unfortunately for Colby, he wasn't too sure how to play my Green Goblin deck initially, but he certainly got the hang of it near the end.
This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, but it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.